بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Today, بإذن الله, we'll be solving Mathematics Guru 580, May June 2022, Paper 2, Variant 1. بسم الله توكلنا على الله. Alright, let's start. Question number 1. بيقول لك write down a prime number between 30 and 40. تعال كده نكتب the list of numbers between 30 and 40. عندنا 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 و 40. تعال eliminate the numbers that are not prime. Well, obviously you know that numbers that are not prime are even, so 30 is not a prime number, 32 is not, 34, 36, 38 and 40. And you can also exclude 35 because it's divisible by 5. Now let's start with 31. Is it a prime number or not? Well, لو انت عايز تعرف if a number is prime or not, you'll see if that number is divisible by the prime numbers that are below the square root of this number. Meaning, تعالى بس ناخد ال prime, ال square root of 31. The square root of 31 is approximately equal to 5.5, I believe. حلو. I'll see if 31 is divisible by all the prime numbers starting from 2 till 5. Which is the square root of 31. If 31 is not divisible by 2, 31 divided by 3 gives you a decimal. 31 divided by 31 divided by 5 is also a decimal. Therefore, 31 is an answer. The other prime number here is 37. You can either write 31 or 37. ماشي اللي بعده. Calculate for question 2. 4 raised to the power of 5 minus 5 raised to the power of 4. Just use your calculator. Okay, هكتبها دلوقتي عندي. And it's equal to 399. حلو. Question number 3. Jason starts a run at 10:05 a.m. and finishes at 1:02 p.m. Work out the time Jason takes to complete the run. هتلاحظ ان التايم اللي هو ابتدى عنده كان كان at a.m. ولما خلص كان at p.m. فاحنا عاوزين نطلع الديفرنس اللي هو the time taken يعني هنضطر نكتبهم both in the 24-hour form. This is already written in the 24-hour form because it's a.m. and 1:02 p.m. we just have to add 12 hours to this. 1:02 plus 12 hours is simply 13:02. بعدين subtract that from 10:05. So this will be still if hour from the 13 will end up with 12. An hour consists of 60 minutes, so 60 plus 2 is 62. 62 minus 5 gives us 57. And 12 minus 10 is 2. So the answer is 2 hours and 57 minutes. اللي بعده. Calculate for question 4 1.07 divided by 0.45 minus 0.38. Just use your calculator. ماشي. هتطلع لك الإجابة إن شاء الله equal to 30 divided by 7, which is approximately equal to 4.285714, which is correct to 4 significant figures equal to equal to 4.286. ماشي. Question number 5. Christy changes $380 into pounds, where 1 pound is equal to $1.19. Okay, so we know that 1 pound is equal to $1.19. بيقول لك calculate the amount that she receives when she converts this amount into pounds. فهنكتب ال $380 دول تحت الدولارز اللي هي 1.19 $38.8. بعدها تعمل cross multiplication. هتعمل 1 times 380 divided by 1.19. the amount is equal to 380.8 divided by 1.19, which is equal to 320 pounds. Okay. For question number 6, write 180 as a product of its prime factors. لو عايز تطلع prime factors of any number هتضطر تستخدم ال 3 method. هتعمل كالآتي. تعال كده نكتب 180. We know that 180 consists of is basically, you can say that 180 is the same thing as 10 times 18. صح. And then you'll try to find the prime numbers of 10. Sorry, the prime factors of 10. So 10 is the same thing as 2 multiplied by 5. And 2 and 5 are both prime numbers, so we'll just circle them. At the F18, 18 is the same thing as 2 and 9. And 9 is also the same thing as 3 times 3. And we finally have all our prime numbers that cannot be factored out any further. So we can write 180 as 2 times 5 times 2 times 3 times 3, which is the same thing as 2 square times 3 square times 5. Okay, 2 square times 3 square times 5. Alright, the next question, question number 7. Without using a calculator, work out 3 divided by 7 minus 2 over 21. You must show all your working ومش عارف ايه. حلو. We'll give a fraction in its simplest form. Okay. فهنكتب كده تاني 3 divided by 7 minus 2 divided by 21. لو احنا عاوزين subtract these two fractions لازم these two fractions they must have the same denominator. If we want to have the same denominator, we will have to multiply this fraction by 3 in the top and bottom, because multiplying by 3 over 3 is the same thing as multiplying by 1, so it doesn't really affect the simplified answer of this fraction. حلو. 3 times 3 is 9, and 7 times 3 is 21, and then بعدين نكتب minus 2 over 21. So since we have a common denominator, and دلوقتي ممكن subtract our numerators, 9 minus 2 is 7 over 21. Hold on a minute, 7 and 21, they both have a common factor, which is 7. So we can factor out 7, top and bottom, 7 times 1 divided by 7 times 3. Cancel the 7s and your answer is equal to 1 over 3. الله ينور. حلو. اللي بعده, question number 8, part A. Work out the value of S when A is equal to 0.9 and T is equal to 4. Just substitute your values, man. هتطلع لك S is equal to 1 over 2 times 0.9 times 4 squared. تعال كده أشوف 0.5 times 0.9 times 16 is equal to, one moment كده, 7.2. This is, by the way, a kinematic equation in physics. اللي بعده, part B. Rearrange the formula to find T in terms of S and A. حلو. عاوزين نخلي من الآخر كده T is subject in this equation. فتعال كده نكتب الإيكويشن دي تاني تحت. S is equal to AT squared divided by 2. حلو. You can just نعمل cross multiplication, أو ممكن تقول that we multiplied by 2 on both sides to get rid of this fraction. We'll end up with 2s which is equal to AT squared. بعد عشان نخلص من ال A ديت هنضطر divide by A from both sides. We'll get that T squared is equal to 2s divided by A. بعدها to get rid of this square number هنضطر ناخد the square root of both sides, giving us T is equal to plus or minus. That is very essential. Yeah. By the way, هي مش عليها circle, it's just plus or minus the square root of 2s divided by A. This is your answer. تكتب هنا plus or minus the square root of 2s divided by A. Question number 9. Factorize completely 14xy minus 7y square. حلو. عايز factorize this formula, هذا الشيء. فهتلاحظ طبعا ان both terms they have a common factor which is y. Just factor that out. هيكون عندك y is equal to 14x minus 7y. بعدين hold on a minute, هتلاحظ ان 14x and 7y they have a common factor which is 7. You can just factor out 7, giving you y times 7 times 2x minus y. بعدين أدخل ال y دي جوا and you'll end up with 7y multiplied by 2x minus y. وبرضه you can expand this عشان تتأكد من الإجابة بتاعتك and it will give you this answer. حلو. Alright, السؤال اللي بعديه. Question number 10, part A. بيقول لك find the next term of the sequence. مديك sequence 22, 17, 12, 7 and so بيقول لك طلع لي the next term in this sequence. لو لاحظت في أول term 22, من 22 ل 17 he subtracted 5. ومن 17 ل 12 we also subtracted 5. And from 12 to 7 we also subtracted 5. 7 minus 5 will give us 2. Obviously the next term we'll have to subtract 5 from 2 to give us the next term. 2 minus 5 is equal to negative 3. Okay, and for your information this is an arithmetic arithmetic sequence. إذا عرفت عشان we have a common we have a constant common difference between each consecutive term. ماشي. المهم part B بيقول لك find the nth term of the sequence. حلو أوي. ال nth term هي ال equation اللي بتساعدك تجيب the term with respect to its position n in the sequence. since we know that this is an arithmetic sequence ممكن احنا المفروض تعرف ال general form بتاعت ال nth term, which is written in the form un is equal to a plus d times n minus 1, where a is the first term in the sequence اللي هو u1, where d is the common difference. Okay, u1 is equal to 22 and our common difference is negative 5. 22 minus 5 times n minus 1, expand and then simplify, you get that un is equal to 27 minus 5n. ماشي بس كده. اللي بعده question number 11. Triangle ABC is mathematically similar to triangle PQR. Calculate QR. ماشي. يعني mathematically similar. Well, you can imagine it in this way. Let's get a trace this triangle. Oh boy. ماشي. فتخيل كده معايا ان الاكزامنر he selected this triangle, عمل له trace بعدها select كده وجابه على جنب, بعديها he scaled it down. ماشي. when he scaled it down هتلاحظ كده ان the corresponding angles, the size of the corresponding angles are still equal. This angle is still equal to this angle and this angle is still equal to this angle, وبرضه this angle is still equal to this angle, meaning that they are similar. ماشي. and they are similar, and these two triangles are similar and not congruent because their side lengths are different. ماشي. since these two are similar, they have been scaled down by all the side lengths have been scaled down by the same scale factor, meaning the ratio between AB and PQ, the corresponding lengths, is the same ratio as AC and PR, which is the same ratio as BC and QR. AB اللي هي 8 divided by PQ اللي هي 6. احنا ما عندناش AC ولا PR. اوكي. بعدين يقول لك هنا BC is equal to 6 و QR, that's what we're trying to find. مثلا let's call it X. to just find QR you'll have to cross multiply and then solve for X. I'll end up with 8x is equal to 36, divide by 8 and then get that x is equal to 4.5 centimeters. ماشي بس كده. ماشي. البارت اللي بعده بيقول لك part B, the two triangles are the cross sections of two mathematically similar prisms. The volume of the larger prism is 320 centimeter cube. ماشي. Calculate the volume of the smaller prism. ماشي. The two triangles are the cross sections of two mathematically similar prisms. ده معناه انهم يعني مثلا في 3D shape ورا, هو بس موريك الفيس دوت او الكروس سكشن الاريا بتاع this 3D shape اللي هو التراينجل دوت. ماشي. المهم هو عايزنا نطلع the volume of the smaller prism اللي هو دوت اكيد. ماشي. تعالى نسميه V sub S. هو مدينا الفوليوم بتاع larger prism اللي هو 320 centimeter cube. You should know that there is a relationship between the volume and the length, the side length, and that states that the volume is directly proportional to the length raised to the power of 3, meaning that لو احنا ضربنا length by a certain scale factor which we'll call k, الفوليوم بتاعنا هيزيد by a scale factor k raised to the power of 3. You can apply this concept into our question. احنا عندنا two similar triangles. احنا عندنا التراينجل دوت ضربنا مثلا التراينجل دوت all the side lengths by certain scale factor by the same scale factor عشان نطلع this other triangle with a smaller side length. ماشي. تعالى نستخدم مثلا AB و PQ. احنا ضربنا AB by a certain scale factor نسميه K عشان يطلع لنا PQ. اوكي. فاحنا already عارفين ان AB is equal to 8 و K is the unknown and PQ is equal to 6. You can find K would be equal to 6 divided by 8, which is 3/4. ماشي. اوكي احنا كده لسه مطلعين our scale factor k اللي ضربناه by all the sides in the larger triangle عشان يطلع لنا the smaller triangle. فاحنا لسه قايلين احنا لما نضرب اي 3D shape all of its side lengths by certain scale factor k الفوليوم هيتغير by scale factor of k raised to power 3. احنا already عندنا الفوليوم بتاع larger prism اللي هو 320 فقالوا ان 320 times that scale factor cubed is going to give us the v sub s. If I just calculate this at 320 times 3 over 4 raised to the power of 3 أحسبها معاك كده 320 times 3 over 4 raised to the power of 3 is equal to 135 centimeter cube. Let's go. Alright, question number 12. The interior angles of a pentagon are in the ratio 4 to 5 to 5 to 7 to 9. عندنا pentagon which has 5 sides. لو عنده 5 sides كده معناها كده عنده 5 angles. والريشيو بتاع these angles are in the ratio 4 to 5 to 5 to 7 to 9. خد بالك دي الريشيو. This is not the actual size of the angles. بيقول لك find the size of the largest angle. The largest angle أكيد اللي عندها the largest ratio اللي هي هتكون الانجل ديت which with this ratio. لو جاي نكتب تحت الريشيو بتاعتنا نكتب 4 to 5 to 5 to 7 to 9. عندنا two angles that have the same size عشان هم عندهم نفس الريشيو. ماشي. فبعدها تكتب تحت هنا التوتال بتاع الريشيو بتاعك هتكون the sum of this ratio اللي هي 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 which is equal to 30. اوكي. بعدها تحت بقى هنكتب كولوم جديد بتاع الانجلز. ماشي. فتعال نقول مثلا الريشيو بتاعت 4 دوت is angle A. بعدها ديت هتكون angle B ودي برضه هتكون angle B because they have the same ratio meaning they have the same size و ratio 7 هتكون C ودي هتكون D. والتوتال بتاع these angles هيكون the sum of the angles in a pentagon. ماشي. ف we can use this formula that helps us to determine the number of the sum of the angles in a polygon which says that n minus 2 times 180 gives you the sum of the angles in a pentagon. ف n is equal to 5 so 3 times 180 is equal to 540 degrees. ماشي. فهنكتب هنا 540 degrees. هو بيقول لك find the size of the largest angle اللي هي هتكون الانجل دي. اوكي. لو جينا على جنب كده هنعمل cross multiplication. لو انت عايز تجيب دي هتقول ان دي is equal to 9 multiplied by 540 divided by 30. ف 9 times 540 divided by 30. ف d is equal to 9 times 540 divided by 30 which is equal to 162 degrees. تمام كده الحمد لله. ماشي. يقول لك for question 13 work out 2 times 10 raised to the power of 100 minus 2 times 10 raised to the power of 98 giving your answer in standard form. ماشي. انت اكيد جربت تكتبها على الكالكوليتر و اداك error. ماشي. ففي طريقة تانية احنا ممكن نحل السؤال ده بيها ان احنا ناخد a common factor. فانت لو جيت اخدت your highest common factor ممكن تاخد 2 times 10 raised to the power of 98 او ممكن تاخد 10 raised to the power of 98. انا بالنسبة لي هستخدم ده عشان اسهل شوية. ماشي. بس هو اصلا السؤال دوت نفسه سهل يعني فمش هتفرق كتير. هتكتب 10 raised to the power of 98. ماشي. دوت كده times 2 times 10 squared minus 2. حلو. فانت ممكن using your calculator تحسب الجول براكت دوت اللي هيكون equal to دوت كده is equal to 2 times 10 squared اللي هي 200 minus 2 which is 198. ف 198 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of 98 is simply 198 times 10 raised to the power of 98. ولكن هو عايزه in standard form meaning الرقم دوت لازم يكون هنسميه A لازم يكون greater than 1 and less than 10. ف احنا عندنا decimal point هنا هنحركها 2 units لورا بعدها هنadd 2 to our exponent. ف we'll end up with 1.98 times 10 raised to the power of 98 plus 2 اللي هي 100. تمام كده الحمد لله. ماشي. بيقول لك هنا في question 14 a train passes through a station at a speed of 108 km per hour. The length of the station is 120 meters. The train takes 7 seconds to completely pass through the station. Work out the length of the train. ماشي، قبل ما نحل السؤال دوت تعال بس نكونفرت اور يونتس. احنا عندنا هنا متر وسكند، فتعال نخلي السبيد مترز بير سكند. فاحنا عندنا من كيلومتر بير اور عايزين نحولها لمترز بير سكند. هنضطر ناخد لون تاني كده، هنضطر نمultiply by 1000 and divide by 3600 اللي هي 60 سكوير. فتعال نكتب هنا 108 times 1000 divided by 3600. احسبها على الكالكوليتر. you'll end up with 30 meters per second. ماشي، فتعالى بيقول لك هنا احسب لي the length of the train. تعال نسمي the length of the train x meters. فبيقول لك عندنا ستيشن كده، ماشي، عندنا ستيشن وفي ترين عايز بيعدي اهو جوه دوت. الترين بتاعنا شكله حلو قوي، ماشي. فالترين دوت اللينث بتاعه x meters، والستيشن بتاعتنا اللينث بتاعها 120 meters، ماشي. فبيقول لك the time taken for this train to completely pass through the station. معناها to completely pass ان هي تكون in this position. ده برضو شباك، وبرضو اللينث بتاعها اكيد هيتغير ليه يعني x meters. فبيقول لك the time taken for this train to completely pass through the station is 7 seconds. فاحنا ممكن نجيب the distance traveled by the train. the distance traveled by the train we can use the equation or the formula which states that the distance is equal to the speed is equal to the speed multiplied by time. the speed times time عندنا 30 times time اللي هو 7. 30 times 7 is simply equal to 210 meters. فالترين دوت اتحرك 210 متر عشان completely pass through the station. فتعالى كده نشوف او نجيب الديستنس in algebraic form. انت شايف الترين بتاعنا he moved 120 meters يعني، ماشي. بعديها also moved plus that x meters عشان يعتبر يعني يكون برا الستيشن. فممكن نقول that 210 meters او لو الديستنس اللي هو اتحركها is equal to the distance of the station plus the length of the train. بعدها this is an equation which you can solve by subtracting 120 from both sides. I'll end up with x being equal to 210 minus 120 which is equal to 90 meters. بس كده. Alright, on to the next question, question number 15. مديك equation 4 raised power of x is equal to 1 over 64. Find the value of x. Simple method إن تحلها just take log base 4 from both sides. حطها على الكالكوليتر بتاعك. you'll end up with x being equal to negative 3. ولو أصلا أنت مش فاهم يعني إيه taking log of both sides، ممكن just to use the indices rule. أنت عارف إن أنت عارف إن 1 over 64 is the same thing as 64 raised to the power of negative 1. وأنت برضو عارف إن 4 raised to the power of 3 is equal to 64. فأنت ممكن تكتب 64 as 4 raised to the power of 3. فديت is equal to 4 raised to the power of 3 raised to the power of negative 1 اللي هي if we have we multiply our exponents this is equal to 4 raised to the power of negative 3. فتعال أول كده 4 raised to the power of x is equal to 4 raised to the power of negative 3. we have the same base, meaning our exponents must be equal. therefore x is equal to negative 3. بس كده حلو. ماشي، الكويشن اللي بعده مديك هنا في question number 16 مديك two shapes. بيقول لك describe fully the single، عاملها لك bold، transformation that maps triangle P onto triangle T onto triangle P. ماشي. فبقول لك describe fully the single transformation، معناه هو عمل transformation واحدة بس عشان يخلي الشيب دوت إلى هذا الشيب. أوكي. فأنت عندك 3 types of transformations. عندك enlargement، ماشي. عندك reflection، عندك أخيرا يا باشا translation. ماشي. translation دوت معناها بس اللي هو بتحرك الشيب بتاعك يمين شمال فوق تحت وبتاع. ولكن مش بتغير السايز بتاعت الشيب بتاعك. والريفلكشن مثلا تختار اي لاين، مثلا اللاين دوت وبتعمل له ريفلكت على اللاين x equal to 5 هيكون شكله كده. ودوت برضه مغيرش اي حاجة من الاريا او من السايز بتاع الشيب بتاعنا. فمش هنستخدم ديت ولا هنستخدم ديت، هنستخدم الانلارجمنت. ماشي، اول حاجة هتكتب له enlargement. بس يعني هو كده الاكزام ما استفادش اي حاجة. فانت هتبتدي بقى تشرح له انت عملت ايه في الانلارجمنت ديت. انت اول حاجة عندك enlargement ومش عارف تقول ايه، هتconnect your corresponding points. يعني ديت is the same as this point، هتconnect كده. ماشي، ودي هي نفس البوينت ديت، ودي هي البوينت ديت. حلو، معلش ما عنديش مسطرة. اوه بوي، حلو اوي، الله ينور. فهتلاحظ that all the point all the lines meet at some coordinate which is this coordinate اللي هي 4,4. ماشي، انت هتكتب له enlargement at 4,4. ولكن لو انت عملت enlargement at 4,4 اللي هو المفروض الشيب بتاعك ما يتغيرش عشان انت you did not multiply the sides by a certain scale factor. فانت هتقول له السكيل فاكتور اللي انت عملت له multiply by at 4,4 by scale factor نكتبها as SF. ماشي، scale factor بتاعك هتلاحظ انت السايد دوت this is 4 units و your corresponding side is going to be this one which is 2 units. I literally multiplied this side by a half عشان يكون 2 units. برضه هتلاحظ هنا this is 1 unit and this is 2 units، فهي had to multiply by half عشان to get 1 unit. فهتكتب your scale factor is 1/2 بس كده. ماشي، الكويشن اللي بعده find the radius of a hemisphere of volume 80 centimeter cube. الهيمسفير ديت يعتبر يعني نص السفير، يكون شكلها كده. حلو، بيقول لك the volume of a sphere. ماشي، of a sphere not a hemisphere with radius r is given by v is equal to 4/3 pi r cube. فهو مديك ال equation for calculating أو formula for calculating the volume of a sphere. ماشي، ولكن عاوزين the formula for calculating the volume of a hemisphere. we'll have to divide this formula by 2 عشان a hemisphere is literally half of a sphere. عشان انت فعلا قسمت السفير بتاعتك نصين فالفوليوم بتاعها اتقسم نصين. ف do half times 4/3 pi r cube which is 2/3 pi r cube. فده الفورمولا for calculating the volume of a hemisphere. فهو we're given that 2/3 pi r cube is equal to 80, and this is an equation you can just solve for r. You can solve for r by multiplying 3/2 and then dividing by pi, giving us r cube is equal to 80 times 3/2. 80 times 3 divided by 2 which is 120 divided by pi. بعدها تاخد the cube root of both sides giving you r is equal to the cube root of 120 pi اللي هي هتكون equal to approximately 3.372 decimal places. Alright, question number 18. A, B, C, D are points on a circle. TU is a tangent to the circle at D. We're given TU is a tangent to the circle at point D. DA is parallel to CB. Hold on a minute. DA is parallel to CB, meaning that we can use some parallel line properties such that مثلا عندنا مثلا corresponding angles, alloyed angles, alternate angles. في حاجات كتير. Actually, these are the only properties of parallel lines, angles. ماشي، بيقول لك find the value of x and the value of y. عندنا angle x و angle y. دوت أكيد a circle theorem question، محتاج تعرف يكون عندك knowledge of circle theorems عشان تعرف تحل السؤال دوت. ماشي، فتعالى كده نشوف احنا عندنا ايه. هتلاحظ ABCD دوت is a quadrilateral، أو you can say it's a cyclic quadrilateral. ليه؟ because it is inscribed inside a circle. ماشي، if it is inscribed inside a circle therefore you can conclude that opposite angles will add up to 180. this angle, the opposite angle to it is this one. meaning that let's call this angle Z. Okay, but this means that 60 plus Z is going to be equal to 180. Therefore Z is going to be equal to 180 minus 60 اللي هي 120 degrees. فهنمسح Z كده ونكتب إن ديت 120 degrees. الله ينور، عرفنا نجيب حاجة. ماشي. فلو لاحظت هنا ABC, this is a triangle, and we know that a triangle has a sum of 180 degrees. You can find an expression for this angle by subtracting 120 plus y from 180. 180 minus 120 plus y is equal to 60 plus y. فthis كده تعال نسميها هنا this is 60 plus y degrees. ماشي، حلو قوي. هتلاحظ هنا عندنا ايه، هو بيقول لك هنا DA is parallel to CB. حلو. بس فاكر لما قلت لك من شويه ان احنا هنضطر نستخدم شويه properties مثلا زي corresponding و alternate او allied، ولا هنضطر نستخدم alternate. why؟ عشان احنا عندنا we have a Z, meaning that this angle is equal to this angle. احنا لسه قايلين ان this angle is equal to 60 plus y. فلو جيت هنا مثلا اخترت له التاني ومسحت الشخويط اللي عملتها هنا، هنقول ان هنعمل equation 60 plus y is equal to x. شوف سبحان الله، عرفنا نجيب equation. ماشي، بس ما استفدناش اي حاجة عشان we do not know the value of y nor x. اوكي، فتعال نشوف. طيب احنا هو ما شاء الله استفدنا حاجات كتيرة من الانجل 60. تعال نشوف ممكن نعمل ايه بانجل 38. احنا عندنا انجل 38 حلو and it subtends our tangent TU and our chord DC. لو انت فاكر from our knowledge of circle theorems, we have a theorem that states that the angle between a tangent and a chord is equal to the angle in the alternate segment, which is going to be angle x. عشان x literally subtends this segment اللي هي AD and AC. Therefore 38 is equal to x. If you're curious how they've come up with this theorem, I'll link إن شاء الله تعالى a video explaining how this theorem was made or discovered. Okay, we finally came up with x, the value of x, which is equal to 38 degrees. We can substitute x into this equation to find the value of y. هنقول إن 60 plus y is equal to x. Sorry, 38. Oh wait, hold on a minute. أنا عملت a huge mistake. It should be هنا negative y. I'm very sorry. فهنا هتكون negative. معلش يا شباب، آسف جدا عشان we subtracted بس negative y، فاهميني؟ ماشي. فهنا هيكون عندنا برضو negative. فهنودي ال y هناك ونجيب ال 38 هناك. y هتكون equal to 60 minus 38 اللي هي 22 degrees. الحمد لله. السؤال اللي بعده. In the diagram AB عندنا diagram حلو كده which is not scale. AB is parallel to PQ. عندنا AQ and PB intersect at X with AX being equal to XQ. حلو قوي. And triangles ABX و QPX. AX is equal to فين AX؟ ماشي حلو اوكي ماشي. أول ما ادينا parallel lines، فأكيد فاكرين احنا قلنا هنستخدم شوية properties of parallel lines اللي في الانجلز والكلام ده وبتاع، وبرضه مدينا اسمه ايه ده، بسم الله، lines that intersect. فتعال نشوف بس السؤال عايز ايه. بيقول لك angle BAX، فين BAX؟ angle BAX which is this angle is equal to some other angle اللي احنا المفروض نطلعها. This is going to be angle this one right here اللي هي ممكن تقول PQX أو ممكن تقول PQA أو AQP، يعني عندك options كتير. ماشي. PQX because they're alternate angles. عشان ال parallel lines دوت عندنا parallel line AB parallel line PQ، عندنا Z shape therefore this angle is equivalent to this angle. حلو. ماشي. اللي بعده بيطلب مننا، بيقول لك هنا angle AXB. عندنا AXB this one right here in the middle is equal to some other angle because مش عارف ايه. احنا عندنا زي ما قلت من شوية عندنا two intersecting lines. لما بيكون عندنا two intersecting lines they form four angles which add up to 360. فعندنا كده angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D. ماشي. ف A is going to be equal to B and C is going to be equal to D. This is because they're vertically opposite angles. That's the explanation for this theorem. فangle AXB is going to be to the angle which is opposite to it, which is vertically opposite to it. هي هتكون PXQ أو ممكن تقول QXB. PXQ أو Q معلش. Because they're vertically opposite angles. Okay. بعدين بقول لك السؤال بعديه triangle ABX is congruent. خد بالك دي كلمة مهمة. is congruent to triangle QPX. عندنا ABX is congruent to QPX. Congruent معناها يعني these angles all of their sides are equal and all of their angles are equal. يعني it's literally the same shape, it's just oriented differently. يعني عملها rotation translation مش عارف ايه. ماشي. because of the congruency criterion معرفش my bad. فاحنا عندنا شوية criteria كده for congruency. عندنا S S S، عندنا A S A، عندنا S A S، عندنا بتاعت ال right angle triangle مش هنستفاد منها أي حاجة في السؤال دوت. فاحنا عندنا لو عندنا two triangles that they have all the three sides are equal therefore we can conclude that these two triangles are congruent. وعندنا criteria التانية اللي بتقول لو احنا عندنا two angles and the side between them is equal. يعني عندنا two triangles كده، عندنا two angles والside ما بينهم، يعني لو two angles دول equal والside ما بينهم نفس الحاجة then these two triangles are also equal. وعندنا criteria تانية بتقول side angle and side. لو رسمنا كده triangle تاني عندنا side وangle، وعندنا برضه triangle تاني عندنا side وangle. لو these two sides are equal and the angle between them is equal then these two triangles are congruent. حلو. فتعال نشوف التريانجلز بتاعنا هنا. احنا عندنا already we're given that AX is equal to XQ. عندنا two sides that are equal. وبرضو عندنا that this angle is equal to this angle. حلو. also we know that this angle اللي هي BAX is equal to this angle عشان alternate. therefore we can conclude that the criteria of congruency is because we have two corresponding equal angles and one corresponding equal side. فبيقول لك أخيرا PX is going to be equal to BX على طول. This is the BX is the corresponding side of PX because triangles are congruent. Okay, question number 20. The diagram shows the speed time graph for 24 seconds of a car journey. عندنا on the y-axis is speed and on the x-axis time. Calculate for part A the deceleration of the car in the final 8 seconds. Deceleration literally means negative acceleration. ماشي. the definition of acceleration is the rate of change in velocity, or you can write it as change in velocity over time. change in velocity means our final velocity minus our initial velocity divided by our time. Our final velocity is going to be 0 and our initial velocity is going to be 12 divided by the time اللي هو 8 seconds. Okay. negative 12 divided by 8 is equal to negative 3 over 2 اللي هي negative 1.5 meters per second square. ولكن انت مش هتكتب له negative 1.5، هتكتب له بس 1.5، هتكتب له الماجنتيود بتاع الاكسلريشن عشان هو بيسألك على الديسلريشن. لو كان سألك على الاكسلريشن كنت هتكتب له النيجاتيف ساين، بس هو بيسألك على الديسلريشن عشان الديسلريشن is negative acceleration. فلو كنت كتبت له negative 1.5 أكنه بيعمل accelerate even though the car is decelerating. ماشي. فمن الآخر اكتب بس الماجنتيود فيطلع لك 1.5. ماشي. for point B he's asking to calculate the total distance traveled during the 24 seconds. ماشي. لو احنا عاوزين نطلع distance given a speed time graph of our journey هنضطر بس calculate our area under the graph. Our total distance is represented by our area under the graph. Okay, area under the graph. ماشي. فهتلاحظ ان our area under the graph takes the shape of a trapezium. We know that the area of a trapezium, the trapezium area is given by the formula, the sum of our parallel lines divided by 2 times the height of the trapezium. حلو. فانت عندك هنا our parallel line عندنا واحد length بتاعه 16 و our second parallel line is the length of it is 24. فهتعمل 16 plus 24 divided by 2 times our height اللي هو هيكون 12 times 12 16 plus 24 divided by 2 times 12 which is 240 meters. الله أكبر. ماشي. Question number 21. Factorize completely 1 minus q minus a plus a q. ماشي. فأنت أكيد هتحاول تاخد common factor negative q أو q بس you won't end up anywhere. أما من رأيي اكتبها كده negative q plus a plus aq minus a أو ممكن تكتبها العكس مش فارقة كتير بس أنا عشان هجيب لك من الآخر يعني أول حاجة اكتبها كده بعدها حاول تاخد common factor of your first bracket. your first bracket هيكون negative q plus 1 فتعال كده ناخد common factor negative q plus 1. ماشي نكتبه هنا كده بعدها نملتبلاي بقى بحاجة جوه. ماشي فتعالى نديفايد أكيد negative q plus 1 divided by negative q plus 1 هتكون 1. ماشي ولكن aq minus a divided by negative q plus 1 تعالى كده نروح لجنب عندنا let's write aq minus a divided by negative q plus 1. أول حاجة تعملها أكيد في النيوميريتور هتفactor out a فيل end up with a multiplied by q minus 1 divided by negative q plus negative q plus 1. ماشي ف you can just factor out negative 1 from our denominator أو numerator مش فارقة كتير عشان to cancel out your fraction. you'll end up with a times q minus 1 divided by negative q minus 1. هتلاحظ انت لما expand this هتلاقي هيديك نفس الاكسبريشن اللي احنا كنا لسه كاتبينه من شوية. فأخيرا ممكن تديفايد و this is going to be equal to negative a. فهنكتب هنا كده and then aq minus a divided by negative q plus 1 is equal to 1 minus a. ماشي ف this is our final answer 1 minus a. هتلاقي برضه في المارك سكيم كاتب لك مثلا 1 minus q divided by a minus 1. he literally factor out negative 1 from this bracket وبرضه he factor out negative 1 from this bracket negative 1 times negative 1 is equal to 1 these two are equal أو equivalent. فأكتب أي حاجة من دول أنا هكتب اللي أنا عملتها negative q plus 1 times 1 minus a. ممكن تكتب ديت برضه هذا الإكسبريشن. ماشي اللي بعده question number 22 simplify fully 216 times y raised to the power of 216 all raised to the power of 2 over 3. ماشي ف you need to know that if we're given an expression which is written in the form ab all raised to the power of n this is equal to a raised to the power of n times b raised to the power of n. okay you can write this expression in this form 216 raised to the power of 2 over 3 multiplied by y raised to the power of 216 all raised to the power of 2 over 3. okay for this part just use your calculator. This is going to be equal to 36. 36 times هنشوف دلوقتي هنعمل ايه في ده. فانت دلوقتي لو جينا على جنب if you're given something that's written in form a raised to the power of n all raised to the power of n this is equal to a raised to the power of n m multiplied by n. so you'll basically multiply the exponent of this whole expression by the exponent of y. It's going to be 36 times y raised to the power of 216 times 2 over 3 اللي هي دوت كده على بعضه is equal to 144. ماشي. this is going to be equal to 36y h power 144. اللي بعده 23 مديك x squared plus 8x plus 10 is equal to this expression right here, x plus p all squared plus q. Find the value of p and the value of q. لو انت لاحظت يعني this expression is literally equivalent to this expression. هو بس he wrote it in a different form, also known as the completed square form. فانت لو بتعرف to complete the square on this quadratic equation just do it. بس في طريقة تانية هستخدمها هي أبسط بكتير، أو مش أبسط بس تاخد وقت أكتر. ماشي. فاللي أنا هعمله إن أنا expand this expression. بعدها I will compare the coefficients of x and the constants. فلما تعمل expand لدوت you'll end up with x square plus 2px plus p square plus q. ماشي. فهتلاحظ إن the coefficient of x in this side is 8. حلو. And the coefficient of x in this side is 2p. Therefore, we conclude that 8 is equal to 2p. Therefore, p is equal to 4. نكتب p is equal to 4. فلما نيجي بقى نكمبير ناخد لون تاني نكمبير our constants. عندنا constant بتاعنا هنا 10 أو مش بالأول ها لو سمحت الأول. حلو. الكونستنت هنا بتاعنا 10. فالكونستنت بتاعنا التاني هنا is p square plus q. فأنت you'll simply write that 10 is equal to p square plus q. And you know that p is equal to 4. So you can say that 10 is equal to 4 square which is 16 plus q. ف q is equal to 10 minus 16 اللي هي negative 6. السؤال اللي بعده part B يقول لك solve x square plus 8x plus 10 is equal to 30. Okay, just subtract 30 from both sides and equate it to be equal to 0 and then solve it using the quadratic formula. When you subtract 30 you'll end up with x squared plus 8x plus minus 20 which is equal to 0. Then you'll use the quadratic formula which says that x, the solutions of a quadratic formula, is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, where a is the coefficient of x squared. A is equal to 1 in this case. This is going to be a. And b is the coefficient of x. This is b. And c is our constant اللي هو هيكون negative 20. ماشي. فطلعها يطلع لك two solutions. أنا هعملها calculator. You'll end up that x is going to be equal to 2 and x is going to be equal to negative 10. حلو. ماشي. بيقول لك 24 a cuboid measures 24 centimeters by 12 centimeters by 8. Calculate the length of the diagonal of the cuboid. ما هذا الشيء؟ يعني ايه diagonal of the cuboid؟ تعال كده نimagine عندنا cuboid. ماشي. انا هلون بلون تاني عشان زهقت من اللون ده. عندنا اتمنى بتعرفوا ازاي ترسموا cuboid. ماشي. عندنا cuboid. حلو. حلو. اوكي. فعندنا مثلا سايز دوت هيكون 24 ودوت هيكون 12 وده هيكون 8. ماشي. فده كده عندنا كيوبويد. حلو. بيقول لك calculate the length of the diagonal of the cuboid. الدايجونال بتاعنا مثلا ممكن تقول the distance between this edge or this vertex and this vertex. حلو. and this diagonal is equivalent to this point, the line between this point and this point right here. But this diagonal is also equal to this point and this point. ماشي. ونفس الحكاية هنا من هنا لهنا. فأنت اختار two sets of vertices وحاول تجيب your length of diagonal. فأنا اخترت مثلا this diagonal right here. حلو. وعايز أجيب اللينث بتاعه أسميه مثلا دوت is x سنتيمتر. أوكي. إزاي أجيب دوت؟ لو أنت لاحظت هنا عندنا right angle triangle عشان الكيوبويد has 90 degrees between all of its edges. اوكي. فانت this right angle triangle انت ممكن تجيب الدياجونال بتاعه مثلا احنا عارفين ال length out is 8 وال length out is 24 and this is our hypotenuse ف I can use Pythagorean theorem ف I will say that مثلا أسميه like y ف y is equal to the square root of the sum of the two other sides which is 8 square plus 24 square لا يكون equal to 8 square plus 24 square which is 8 root 10 okay فاحنا طلعنا y is equal to 8 root 10 واحنا دلوقتي we know that this side is equal to 12 عشان this side is a square ف this is 12 and this is y and this is a right angle triangle so I can use Pythagorean theorem to find this diagonal or you can call it the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle ف we'll say that x is equal to the square root of it's going to be 12 squared plus the square root of 8 square root of 10 يطلع لك 12 square plus 8 root 10 all squared is equal to 28 centimeters بس كده بسم الله question number 25 we're given that w is proportional w is proportional to the square root of y and y is inversely proportional to x so let's write that down y is inversely proportional to x so this is a directly proportional relationship and this is an inversely proportional relationship meaning that as w increases y is going to also increase and as y increases x is going to decrease حلو فتعال نمسح دوت ماشي بيقول لك when x is equal to 4 y is equal to 16 and w is equal to 8 find w in terms of x عايزك تكتب equation where w is the subject in terms of x okay ماشي تعالى كده remove our proportionality sign and write an equation فتعالى نبتدي بأول واحدة نقول that w is equal to some constant which I'll call k times the square root of y ف k is just a number which we do not know the value of it yet okay and let's write this down as well and نكتب y is equal to some other constant which I'll call let's call it L times it's going to be L divided by x حلو so we're given that when x is equal to 4 y is equal to 16 so I can substitute these values to this equation and then find the value of L our constant so it's going to be 16 is equal to L over x wait L over 4 معلش it's 2 a.m. ف L is going to be equal to 16 times 4 اللي هي 64 حلو ماشي ف I can substitute into this equation فتكون y is equal to 64 divided by x تعال نشوف بقى نرجع to our original equation اللي هي w is equal to k times the square root of y احنا we can substitute this equation into this one عشان نسهل علينا الأمور عشان we do not know what y equals when w is a number فتعال كده نيجي على جنب ف w is going to be equal to k times the square root of 64 divided by x ف this can be w is equal to this can be equal to the square root of 64 is 8 ف 8k divided by the square root of x فاحنا we can now substitute our values of x and w when x is equal to 4 w is equal to 8 ف 8 is equal to 8k divided by the square root of 4 the square root of 4 is 2 it's going to be 8 is equal to 8k divided by the square root of 4 اللي هي 2 ف 8k is equal to 16 therefore k is equal to 2 الله أكبر ماشي فتعال substitute k هنا ماشي ف w is going to be equal to 8 times 2 اللي هي 16 over the square root of x وسبحان الله من غير ما نلاحظ حلينا السؤال هو ما كتب يجي بالحب لا بهزر okay question number 26 the diagram shows a triangle OAB and a parallelogram OLAQ عندنا triangle OAB و parallelogram OALQ ف these two sides are equal لو OA و KL and these two sides are also equal ماشي حلو. OQ and AL are equal. The position vector of A and the position vector of B is the position vector of A is A and the position vector of B is B small. K is a point on AB so that AK to KB is equal to 1 to 2. Actually, the ratio between these two lengths is equal to 1 to 2. حلو. Find the position vector of L. The position vector of L هيكون OL. OL is equal to عشان نروح من O ل L we have to move OA and AL. I can say that OL is equal to OA plus AL. حلو. Now, alhamdulillah, we know that OA is equal to the vector A. If I cannot say that, wait, hold on. OL is equal to A plus the vector AL. ماشي. But we do not know the vector AL. However, we know that AL and OQ are the same magnitude and they are moving in the same direction. Therefore, we can conclude that they have the same vector. OL is equal to OK. احنا ممكن substitute it is AL not OL. AL is equal to OK. فممكن substitute ديت هتكون OL is equal to A plus OK vector. حلو. ولكن احنا برضو مش عارفين نجيب OK. هنعمل ايه يا ترى؟ تعال نشوف ممكن نجيب OK ازاي. لو رسمنا خط كده واستخدمنا لون تاني، احنا عارفين ان OK عشان نروح من O ل K هنضطر نتحرك OA plus AK. ف OK is equal to OA plus AK. OA برضو is equal to A. ف OK is equal to A plus AK. ولكن we do not know AK. However, we're given in the question that the ratio between AK to KB is equal to 1 to 2. فاحنا تعال نجيب our vector AB. فتعال احنا شكلنا هنستخدم ألوان كتير جدا. فتعال نقول إن AB is equal to OA اللي هي A. sorry wait hold on a minute. معلش. AB is equal to negative A plus B اللي هي يعني B minus A. Now we can use this relationship أو this ratio. لو جينا هنا AK to KB to our total اللي هو AB. The ratio is 1 to 2 to 3. والtotal أو AB we know that AB is equal to B minus A. احنا عاوزين AK. ف AK is just going to be 1 times B minus A divided by 3 اللي هي AK is equal to B minus A divided by 3. حلو. فتعال نسبستيوت ديت هنا. نيجي هنا كده. ف OK is equal to A plus I'll split the fraction هتكون B over 3 minus A over 3 ف plus B over 3 minus A over 3. It's the same expression. I just split the fraction. ماشي. Notice they have the same denominator, so I can just write it as B minus A divided by 3. فاللي هي A minus A over 3 is equal to 2 over 3. If I can say that OK is equal to 2 over 3 A plus 1 over 3 B. حلو. احنا كنا عاوزين نعمل ايه؟ احنا أخيرا جبنا OK is equal to this. فاحنا we can then finally substitute it into this عشان نطلع OL. سبحان الله، شوف الشغل كله يوصل ببعضه ازاي. ماشي. فتعالى نختار لون كده فاتح. معرفش ده باين ولا لأ. ده أحمر. Okay, let's just use this one. فهنقول إن OL is equal to A plus OK اللي هو plus 2 over 3 plus plus 2 over 3A plus 1 over 3B اللي هي equal to A plus 2 over 3A which is 5A over 3 plus B over 3. والحمد لله خلصنا. فضل لنا تقريبا آخر سؤال. this is going to be equal to 5 over 3A plus 1 over 3B. الحمد لله. Okay, question number 27. The line y is equal to x plus 1, and then a line intersects the graph of y is equal to x squared minus 3x plus minus 11. دوت quadratic. We have a parabola at the points A and B. فاللاين دوت بيعمل intersect مع البارابولا دوت at points A and B. Find the coordinates of A and the coordinates of B. ماشي، عشان نعرف ال coordinates of A and B we'll have to set our y values equal to each other, meaning that x plus 1 is going to be equal to x squared minus 3x minus 11, and then we will solve for x. You can solve for x by subtracting this from both sides، أو معنى أصح نوديها على الناحية التانية. we'll end up with x squared minus 3x x squared minus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0. بعدين you can solve this using the quadratic formula, which states that the solutions for a quadratic formula is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. If I just use my calculator to solve this, we'll end up with two solutions. We can factor out, giving us x minus 6 and x plus 2, which is equal to 0. Therefore, we have two solutions for x. X is equal to 6 and x is equal to negative 2. حلو. فتعال substitute our x coordinates for a and b. عندنا a is equal to 6 والx coordinate بتاعت b is negative 2. مش فارقة كتير، ممكن تبدلهم عشان we don't have any information about the size of the x coordinates of a and b. فتعال نفصل عشان نطلع ال y coordinates. فأنت you already have our x coordinates، فأنت can just substitute in any equation، ممكن دي أو دي، عشان تطلع ال y coordinates. كده هتطلع equal يعني. فأنا بالنسبة لي substitute في y is equal to x plus 1 عشان أسهل. when x is equal to 6, y is equal to 6 plus 1, which is 7. And when x is equal to negative 2, y is equal to negative 2 plus 1 اللي هي negative 1. Walhamdulillah, we have finally finished this paper. I hope you guys have learned something today. And see you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.